Hey, what's going on, guys? Xbox All In channel, host Sega Forever. Little short video for you guys. Something that I wanted to talk about. Something that I've been covering on my channel, surprisingly, given the content. Right, we're gonna be talking about Disney Marvel. Done a couple of videos on it, um, especially the stuff that was kicking off at Comic Con that happened this past weekend. Man, it was pretty good. It was pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't expecting much from Comic Con. Like I said in a previous video, I had no idea that it was going on. I had forgotten, you know, and because of the pandemic and the way things have been for the last couple of years, I talk about that on my channel as well. You kind of get an understanding of how people can be conditioned with their behaviors and stuff like that, and I'm guilty as charged. That, and on top of the basic fact that I just I've been you guys follow me on this channel, you guys follow me on social media. I've been tuned out of Disney Marvel for a while now. Just haven't been happy with the stuff that they've been producing. Hey, what's up, Daniel, dude? Hey, welcome, bro. I saw that Kaylin has her new is that her new shoe, right? That they dropped. Or is that Kobe's? I was trying to read the article, man, but I had to bounce. But it looks nice, man. Also, did you hear what one of the Japan fans did when Japan played the US at the Olympics? He actually had a sign that said, you can't beat us without Caitlin Clark." Now, to the fans' credit, man, I thought that was pretty. I thought that was pretty gangster that he did that. On the flip side, probably not the best idea, man, because Japan got crushed. My team USA, and they showed Aja Wilson. She saw the side, and she had kind of a reaction to it. If you guys didn't know, man, Aja's not a big Caitlyn fan. Yeah, I don't think it's like super bad blood and stuff like that. I mean, some of this drama gets played up, but she definitely has her feelings about Caitlyn. Understandably so, if I'm being honest, man, because Aja is the MVP of the league. She's an amazing basketball player. There's a lot of amazing basketball players in the WNBA, as I found out as I followed it this year. But at the end of the day, dude, Caitlin Clark is just an anomaly coming into the league, turned everything upside down. I mean, I've been enjoying it, man, and I mean all of it, dude, all the drama. Like I joked around when I did a podcast talking specifically about the WNBA. You get the best of every possible world that I inhabit right now, whether it's the drama, right, the action, the physicality. It's all of that, man. I've been enjoying it. Again, like I said, dude, it takes me back to the '70s when I used to watch this stuff and follow it intensely. But yeah, Daniel, man, thanks for being here, brother. We're gonna see how everything pans out, man, in the second half of the season. See if Indiana can continue to improve and make it to the finals, or at least the playoffs, dude. I would love to see that. And again, too, it was kind of cool to watch the All Star Weekend as much as I did. It was a little bit hard. I'm not gonna lie. I don't have cable, so you got to try and find ways to watch some of these games. That's my biggest problem, man. Hopefully, with the new TV deal that they have, the options will be a little bit better, a little bit more easier um, to get connected to the games that I have the pass. But the league pass doesn't have all the games, and then a lot of the games I wanted to watch, I couldn't. Which I think worked out in my favor this year, right? Because I was able to consume the WNBA in a lot of different ways. So I think that was good. Well, anyway, man, you guys know this is a podcast, dude, and I will cover a lot of different topics. Um, Tune in this weekend. We're going to be doing the Wrecking Crew podcast. We're going to talk specifically about Xbox news, all the stuff that goes on in gaming. That's what that's for. I will drop a little bit of a shout out to Unlimited Productions, who did his podcast, man. Unlimited, I haven't finished listening to the entirety of your podcast yet. I just started listening to it today. I was kind of busy keeping up with all the Comic-Con stuff, man, which is why I'm doing this video. But if you guys didn't know, the Xbox 360 store officially shut down. It is no more. Give my thoughts just really quickly, man. It was that time in my life with the 360 where it actually changed the way I played video games. Prior to the 360 and Xbox getting into the game, I didn't play shooters at all. And it was a little game called Halo that turned me on to shooters, and it was a perfect thing too, man, because I didn't play on PC. I didn't play with keyboard and mouse. I don't know if I could have, dude, but I didn't have to worry about it. I didn't even have to try, because at the end of the day, hold on, guys, let me see. Is this thing working? Because at the end of the day, what happened was, I mean, they put it on Xbox. Halo got put on Xbox, and they pulled off something a lot of people at that time didn't think would be possible. Was playing a shooter on a console because you have to use a control pad, and it worked. Man, they found a way and they made it work, and the rest, as they say, is history. And again, I'll give kudos all the time to those guys because it's one of the reasons why you have the shooter games that you have now on the box, on the consoles. The Xbox was dubbed the shooter box, which I absolutely love. I mean, I know some of it is used as a negative, as it gets weaponized sometimes to attack the Xbox. But I mean, that's how I enjoy gaming on Xbox, man. It opened up a whole new world to me. I started playing games that I never did because of the Xbox. Um, and when we rolled into the 360, man, everything just went next level. And as always, man, I know Xbox never gets the credit for this, but they've done a lot of stuff to pioneer that pioneered some of the stuff we have today in the gaming industry. And Xbox, they always get the hate, man, but hardly get the credit. So that's one of the things I remember the most about the 360 store, just the variety of games, the amount of games, how great the games were, as far as quality, and some aspects, just the wealth of the game. I mean, we just had so many different games to play and so many different genres. It was an amazing time. And I wasn't even a hardcore Xbox guy back then. I was still a Sega guy. I still am to this day, if I'm being honest. But when Sega exited the console market, I found myself every year. I find myself gravitating more towards the Xbox side, even though I was a multi-console owner. Had every single console, played all the games that I loved. Um, but like I said, in 2013, when the Xbox One came out, then I went totally bleed green, and I never looked back, and I've never regretted it ever since. But the 360 store, man, it is an end of an era, man. Some of the stuff that they did, I mean, it was the precursor to the all-in box, the all-in-one box. Man, I love my avatars, dude. I spent money on a lot of the avatar stuff. It was cool when you could unlock stuff in the games for your avatars, dude. Love the blades. That was cool. A lot of people don't realize that they help put Netflix on the map. A lot of the streaming where everybody's complaining now when it comes to Netflix about how much it costs. Well, back in the day, dude, it was about availability. It was about the kind of content they had, accessibility. And I'm happy to say Xbox 360 blew that all out of the water, or helped to blow those things out of the water, man. I mean, it helped in some small aspect to help Netflix be the company that they are now. That's why you see me do those videos all the time. I'd love to see Microsoft actually own Netflix outright. Reed Hastings is credited a lot of times with the format that the Game Pass has been following, as far as content, as far as the way they put stuff out, kind of like using it as like I said, basically a roadmap. And not totally, because watching games or playing games and watching movies and stuff like that, you consume it a bit differently. But because it is a streaming service at the end of the day, man, that's always something that I can appreciate, especially when it comes to Xbox and Microsoft, constantly looking forward, constantly thinking outside the box. Sometimes, it doesn't pan out, but for the most part, man, they've dominated this industry, as far as, cutting edge, pushing everything to its limits, constantly evolving, keeping the industry itself fresh and new. And I've been along this ride since 2002 when the first Xbox hit. But again, gonna miss the 360, dude. Like a lot of people, I agree with them. It's probably the best Xbox console. Definitely one of the best consoles ever created. And you're never gonna. It was the perfect console for a moment of time, and they can never take that away, man. It's gonna be historical. And as the industry moves on and gets older, and probably when I'm done playing video games and I've moved on, a lot of people will look back lovingly at this generation, man, because sometimes, man, when you're living in greatness, you're living and experiencing greatness, you don't realize it, and it takes years and years for you to fully appreciate. You see that a lot of times with kids and their parents. Maybe not understanding what the parents are trying to teach them, not understanding what the parents are trying to do for them. That the parents actually have their best interest at heart and not trying to ruin their lives like some kids think so. And it isn't until like the kids get older, then they realize, just because of age and experience, a lot of times that their parents is right. And for some kids, man, it ends up being too late because they lose their parents, and it's one instance of regret. And that's something I think Microsoft to me, man, or with the Xbox, they never got their full credit, their full due, man. This is why I'm so militant when it comes to um, Xbox taking over the industry, which they technically are. I don't know if you guys saw the financials that dropped, but it was pretty impressive. But anyway, we're here to talk a lot more about pop culture, man. Especially like I said, San Diego Comic Con. Hold on, guys, let me drop this. Experiencing some technical difficulties as of late. And it's nothing that's game breaking, guys. It's just that when you're used to things working smoothly, when it doesn't, of course, it stands out. But I shouldn't complain. I know there's people way worse when it comes to this stuff. Have it worse than I do. But let me double check this real fast. It's not going. Why? What's the scoops, man? What's going on with this? Here we go. I don't know, man. It is what it is. Hold on. Oh, what is this? Okay. Maybe we can drop this. And sometimes when I run the stream, dude, my screen will go off. Dude, I hope that's not up. I bought one of these all-in-one systems. And I absolutely love it, dude. It has a great sound system. It's a big screen TV, a big screen monitor. Um, Super fast, man. High quality. Actually forked over quite a bit of money for this. I did get it on sale though, so I didn't have to pay full price. But I love this. I love the system that I have. And I do everything on it, man. I'll do these podcasts. I'll watch some shows sometimes. Definitely YouTube because it's easy to switch when it's on the keyboard and mouse instead of being on the TV. In fact, without on the TV, I just use my phone. It's easier to navigate the menus. Oh yeah, dude, this is pretty solid. Okay. Yeah, but like I said, guys, enjoyed Comic Con this weekend. Of course, the big news was everything that's coming out of Hall H. And a credit to Marvel, dude. I mean, I just have to give them their props for this year. Because like I said, I basically tuned out of Disney Marvel. In fact, like I said on the previous video, I did watch Captain America: The First Avenger, and it just made me realize how good we had it. you know, Phases 1 through 3. I ended up watching Captain America: The First Avenger that led me into the first Avengers movie. So I ended up watching both of those. Um, and again, man, I mean, I just sitting there watching it, enjoying every minute, and just wondering where they went wrong. So again, guys, I tuned out. I've been tuned out when it comes to Marvel. I was subscribed to Disney Plus, got rid of that because I don't use it. It was kind of cool to be able to access some of the older shows, but the main reason I wanted Disney Plus was to, you know, consume everything that was Marvel, especially on the television side. I had no idea they would mess stuff up that bad. There were indications, there were signs, but again, um, dude, they fell so far so fast, dude. I mean, it made my head spin. It's such a uh, it's so opposite of what it took for them to get where they were, man. Because they had to work, they have to scratch. I mean, a lot of people when they think about Marvel, they never think of how hard they had it and a lot of the risks that they take. And some of it of their own doing, man. Again, guys, you guys know I'm a comic book guy. I was there when Marvel filed for bankruptcy. I was there when they sold off all their properties. Um, and then a lot of the stuff that put Marvel on the map initially was not even done by the Marvel you have now. It was done by other studios. So for them to navigate all that, and by them I mean when Marvel decided to become a studio on their own, because and for the right reasons, man, they really couldn't get anybody. Anytime they would collab with some of these studios, it was always the way that they wanted to present the characters, the way they wanted to do the story, whatever it was, man. They could never connect with these studios, man, because they wanted to do it their own way, and they thought they because they're in the movie business, right? So You got to give them that. But you're trying to bring comic books into the movie industry. You still got to, for the most part, you have to stay true to the source material. And Marvel at that time knew that. Not so much now, of course, which is pretty sad. Um, but they knew that. And again, that comes with a lot of reasons, right? Because you're not in that position where you can make those decisions, and you have to work with people, right? And that was the driver for them to get their own studio. Because even when X Men came out, as good as X Men, the first two X Men movies were, there's all types of stories that I saw where people talked about, they had to fight for certain things. And again, the irony of all of this, man, because the Marvel that was built, especially in the very beginning, when the studios first came online, to the Marvel that we have now, dude, they become what they fought against, which I find very sad. You know what I mean? It's just like it reminds me of that. It reminds me of the book Animal Farm. I always say this on this channel, man. It's like the road to hell is paved with good intentions, right? And when you lose that vision, when you lose the principle or the why, you do all of this stuff, and then it ends up going south the way that it has, right? And the sad thing is about they weren't able to course correct either, and they willingly went down this road. They willingly ruined everything, right? A lot of us were just sitting back, just watching it, dude. Like it was like a train wreck in slow motion, man. It was just hard to believe, right? And then sometimes you think, man, is this a dream? Am I gonna wake up and this is all just a nightmare? But no, it wasn't, dude. They chose to go down this route. Which kind of brings us to why I want to talk about Comic Con because again, Marvel just dominated. It brought me back into the fold somewhat. You know what I mean? I'm kind of like in that Star Wars mode that I was in. In fact, with Star Wars, I had a little bit more hope. I was hoping, and that all came to naught. That Star Wars is done. You know, there's no way that they're going to be able to turn that franchise around at all. They had their shot. They had multiple shots to do it. They actually did it, dude. A lot of the fans were like, "Hey, you know, you know, Mandalorian, yes, that's what we want. Acolyte or what's the other show they did before Acolyte? And then some of the other shows, people are like, no, 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 don't do that. We don't want any of that. And then, this is why Disney Star Wars is where it is. Hey, what's up, Toman, bro? Just a really quick video. I just been enamored with everything that went on Comic Con. Then after the shows and stuff like that, this is why I kind of been offline. I was just consuming all the content that was coming out, getting people's reactions, catching up with the news. We'll talk a little bit about the news that dropped today, man. Robert Downey Jr. is going to get a fat check. They didn't give specifics on the actual amount. But bringing the Russos back, the Russo brothers are going to get $85 million payday for both of them, right? Which I'm pretty sure they appreciate. Another thing that I found interesting is that Marvel's actually going to work with the studios because once the Russo brothers kind of tied it up with Endgame and decided to move on, and it was kind of cool. They mentioned this in the Doctor Doom reveal, right? How they were talking about they put all their heart and soul, and you can tell, man. If you go back and watch the movies that the Russos did in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, dude, you can tell it was a labor of love. It was very well done. They took it seriously. They put a lot of their blood, sweat, and tears into it. I think they came out with an amazing product. And at the end of the day, man, they were spent, dude, and they had to move on. Right. And then they created their own studio. In fact, they did this kind of, I think it was called 12 Bridges. And I believe that's under their studio, man. They created their own studio. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but I'm pretty sure that's what they did. And then it was with our boy, man, that played Black Panther. He was the star, but I think it's called 12 Bridges. And it's basically about Manhattan getting shut down. And then the dude, I can't think of his name right now. Let me look it up. I got it. Yeah, Chadwick Boseman. Sorry, guys, I have to actually look it up. See what happens when you get old? I wanted to really, I had to give him his props too, because I love the first Black Panther movie. I have not seen the second one, but I haven't been participating in phases 3 and 4, as you guys know. But yeah, so they did a movie with him. I think what they kind of might have found out is that, as a lot of the people that work in the Marvel Cinematic Universe find out is that that doesn't necessarily the stuff that they do in Marvel might not necessarily translate over into their own careers or when they do other movies. Some of them buck the trend, right? But it's you figure how excited people are about the Marvel movies and about them as actors and them being in the Marvel movies. But I know a lot of these guys found out the hard way that capital is few and far between. But kudos to the actors that actually made careers outside of Marvel. Uh, Chris Helmsworth being one. In fact, I like him as an actor as well. But yeah, so I mean, it's not always rainbows and butterflies, man. At times get hard, given the fact that again, I talk about the economy all the time on this channel. When somebody like Disney offers you $85 million, yeah, you find a way to get inspired. And look, I'm not taking a shot at them, dude. I'm pretty sure they had stuff probably percolating in their mind over all these years. And it was kind of interesting because if you watch the presentation in Hall H, the Doom panel, um, the Russo brothers actually talk about that. I think it was Joe that talked about it, saying that the reason why they're doing the two movies, one of them Secret Wars, the other one's Doomed. Hopefully they'll have a hand in all the other movies as well, because there's a Fantastic Four movie that's going to drop. There's a Thunderbolts movie going to drop, and I think it'd be in the best interest of Marvel to have these guys be hands on everything. They don't have to direct them, they don't have to produce them, right? But they got to do what they did in phases 1, 2, 3. That's what they've conditioned people to expect. I think it would be good for their quality control, because obviously everything after phase 3 has been utter trash. There's been nothing worth watching. I don't care what these guys tell me, dude. The priority was not to entertain. The priority was most politics agenda and all the DEI crap, which is funny because these people are trying to just act like it never happened. And that's the sad part about it is, man, they had great stories to tell. They had new chapters that they should have opened. There's different parts of the universe that could have been explored, and they've just pissed it all down the drain because of stupidity, right? And so bringing these guys back, hopefully them having a hand, even if it's heavy-handed or just a slight touch, whatever. The consistency of the movies throughout this next phase. I don't even know what they're going to call this. Are we in phase 6 now? Are we still in phase 5? Right, everything's been thrown out of whack just because of how poorly the movies have been doing for Marvel. And I know a lot of people sometimes I'll talk to them online. They're like, "Hey, this thing made hundreds of millions of dollars." They're not understanding how the business of movies actually work, right? How tarnished the Marvel brand is, how much capital they spent because they took advantage of the goodwill of their consumers and of their fans. I mean, I was off the jump. I was out of the jump from Phase 4 as I knew the direction they were going, right? And I know that seems kind of weird, but I mean, that just to the credit of how big a Marvel fan I am. Straight, oddly enough. Um, oh, sorry, guys. Hey, what's up, brother? Yeah, hold on. I'm sorry, dude. I'm trying to research and do this at the same time. But I do have to pick up my kids though. So once they call, then I gotta bounce. But yeah, man, come on in. Come on in. The water's fine. Hold on, brother. Let me send this to Hipaticus. And then also a shout out to Sega Man. Sega Man, I finally watched the video. Sorry, my brother. Yeah, sorry about I did send an invite, but I have to change up the hours on you. And I know you were with your family, so I do apologize. Would have loved to have you on the podcast. Um, but yeah, I checked out your podcast, man. Thank you for the shout out, dude. An amazing podcast as well. Really enjoyed listening to it, brother. Thanks for bringing in the fire. Um, I find it funny that a lot of the stuff that's going on in the gaming community. But it's turning, man. It's turning, dude. Microsoft, like I said, they dropped their financials. And you see these guys, they're panicking, man, because a lot of these guys, when it comes to the Xbox right now, the brand, these guys are finding any kind of way to just downplay all the stuff that Xbox is doing. It's like, for example, when you look at the percentages and the numbers, they're trying to approach it from like a negative. And I'm like, dude, that's just gravy on top of the sundae. Or that's hot fudge on top of the sundae, the numbers they're showing you, dude. And again, this is the way Microsoft does business. They don't invest in stuff that loses money. Right? They invest in stuff that has return, ROI, man, return of investment. Again, this I'm getting into outer Zinc's area of expertise, and I'll leave it at that. But if you guys are dude, don't worry, guys. And there's no reason to worry, honestly. Because Microsoft is a $3 trillion company. They'll be fine. Right? You might not agree with some of the stuff they do. I'm constantly reminded of the lack of space that I have that actually interferes with my Game Pass enjoyment of Game Pass. Right? It's something that I think they really need to work on. The storage space is not right now. It's becoming a problem because Game Pass is growing, right? And in order for the service, again, to be the Netflix of gaming, you have to be able to offer the people the option of plug and play, instantaneously, jumping in and jumping out. I mean, you already have to download the content to get the premium experience for the most part, right? Unless you're like 100 where he lives and he has a good connection to the cloud, which would be a great solve of that, but they're not at that level, right? And so you get caught up in sitting there deciding what to pull off, what not to. And the way that I play my game, especially since I'm subscribed to Game Pass, I do play on feel, I do play on mood, right? Because sometimes I just want to play certain games, but if I have to download it because I have to save space, all that kind of stuff, that's not going to work. They really need to find a way to improve on that, because at the end of the day, dude, it's affecting the way people consume streaming services. I'd hate for that to happen to what happened to Halo. Halo, amazing game, amazing multiplayer, one of the best multiplayers I've played in the current generation, in this current time. They took the best of both worlds. They updated it, but they still kept the flavor of the past, which was great. But the one thing that killed it was supposed to be a live service game, and they kind of half-assed that. And when you go in, and when you put yourself out there like that, and you're going against some of these other killer apps that are out there that people have millions of followers, some of them hundreds of millions of followers, it's not gonna end well. You know. But it's not any dude. You guys know I'm a big Halo fan. I just gotta be honest though. Okay. So he bought. I sent you the link, brother, on Twitter. You should see it. Yeah, but again, man, the flowers. I gotta give Marvel their flowers, man. They turned it up. It was like the Marvel of old, man. Like people used to actually wonder what they were gonna do. They're gonna actually. Movie studios would wonder what they were gonna do. Movie studios would move their movies when Marvel would put out their roadmap. And I think that's one of the reasons Marvel did put out the roadmap. Right? They had to just to give heads up to the other studios. I'm sure that was a power play as well, man. Marvel has a lot of reasons for doing what they're doing. That's why I'm so hard at them. When they try and play stupid. I'm like, no, you guys are dumb. This is by choice. Right? You guys are just being idiots. You're not ignorant of the fact that you're just making bad choices and bad decisions. That's why I'm so hard on them when they do that. But it felt like the Marvel of old, man. I'm not gonna lie. Now, naturally, given everything that's gone on the last couple of years, take everything with a grain of salt, like I am, and that's why I kind of called this San Diego Comic Con the aftermath, because everybody look, and I'm one of them, dude, and I'm gonna give them again their props. It was one of the best shows they've ever given, right? And this is one of the best Comic Cons I've ever watched. It was a good mixture of actual nerd and geek culture. Um, Everything was on point from the Marvel end and other studios as well, dude. It was not over. It was not overdone. It wasn't overworked. It wasn't overthought. I mean, it actually felt like um, this Comic Con what got back to its roots. Even though a lot of people are saying it's one of the biggest Comic Con ever, from what I saw, it didn't look busy. People said it was packed, but I can tell by the spirit and the attitude of the people when they're getting interviewed. When I watch news, I watched a lot of different stuff, guys. Like I said, so I fell behind on my gaming. I fell behind on a lot of other stuff because I was consuming this nonstop, right? Because I wanted to get a feel and a flavor, dude. And I can honestly say I can walk away with this and feel like this. I hope this is a trend for Comic Con, dude, going forward. Sometimes you got to go backwards to move forward. Sometimes you got to lose a little bit of something to realize how precious things are and how good you have it. And then when you move forward, man, you don't throw it to the side. You don't dispense with it. It doesn't just become a money thing. It doesn't just become an advertising thing. You don't just step and piss all over the culture that you're being successful in, that's bringing you money, right? But at the end of the day, when you lose sight of what it's all about, that's when these companies get into trouble, man. And to me, that's what happened with Marvel. And it's not just a greed thing, man. I get that thrown at me all the time with these companies. Oh, they're just greedy. I was like, yeah, some of them are greedy, but for the most part, it's just being dumb, dude. It's just ignoring. You just get prideful, right? You put yourself above people, right? Sometimes a lot of times these guys show up, man. They're they get treated like royalty, man. You can see that in the Marvel H studios, dude. And I remember when Marvel first started, dude, they were hungry. A lot of those actors were unknown, or if they were known, they were not superstars, exception of a couple, right? Some of the directors, yeah, they were big names and stuff like that, you know. But for the most part, they were hungry, man. They were not known, so they were humbled by that, And it was amazing because I thought back, 'cause I was sitting there thinking back to the previous Comic Cons and when these guys came in. Um, how blown away they were by the energy, by the excitement, by the fans. Because a lot of these dudes probably never got that from Hollywood or the Hollywood fans, or the Hollywood elite, coming from the Hollywood side of things, with the business side and all the pomp and circumstances and stuff like that, dude. Where, which is funny, man, because these guys talk about equality and equality and justice and social justice and all this crap all the time, where they live in an industry that's based on pretty much like a feudal type system, right? You have the people on the top, some in the middle, and then the rest on the bottom, right? You got the people trying to transition from the bottom to the top. How doggy dog that is, how brutal that can be, right? And in the same breath, they're telling us, oh, we have to care for our fellow man and world peace and save the planet, like that type of hypocrisy that these guys have. And I know for a lot of them, dude, these guys were more, they were more grounded, man. They were more the common man when it comes to celebrity, the celebrity life that they occupy. So I thought it was cool that they showed up there, man, and they got a taste of that. And I think for the most part they handled it well. Some of the guys they let it get to their head, you know what I'm saying? But and then some of the studios as well, some of the businesses. This is why I think Comic Con is the way it is, man. A lot of these studios flushed in a lot of money. It didn't pan out for them because at the end of the day, you can come to a Comic Con, you can talk about whatever social programs you're gonna do. There's how much stuff you're gonna donate. How much you love the source material, how much you love these fans. But I mean, if you don't make a good product, at the end of the day, that's all. That's what it boils down to. It's an amalgamation of all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, you gotta provide something that the fans want. And these guys have been ignoring the fans, man. So, talking to them in one end, talking out of both sides of their mouth, saying how they care about the characters, about the fans, how they want to entertain them, give them something exciting. Then you show up to watch what they produce, and it's utter trash. And in some instances, it's insulting to you as a person because of the belief system you might have or might not have, right? Um, and they got full of themselves, man. They got an ego, and then boom, right? That fall was mighty. I'm going to say that. Will they learn? Will Marvel learn? I don't know. I don't know, dude. I have no idea. Again, I told you guys I did a review on Deadpool and Wolverine. Um, oh snap! Sorry, guys. Oh, I am getting all kind of stuff from these people. My daughter is done. So this is gonna be faster than I thought. Ooh, hold on, guys. I thought she was gonna finish at 5, but she's completed. She's ready already. Hold on, guys. Sorry. Let me see. Okay, sorry, guys. I can go a couple more minutes. Hey, Hebot, man, I'm gonna have to call a rain check on this because I'm gonna have to wrap it up. Um, yeah, but like I said, dude, they got humbled, man, and it's good to see. Like I said, I watched Wolverine and Deadpool, gave my review. Really enjoyed the movie. Could have done without the blasphemy. As you guys know, we talked about that. That's something I talked in detail with a global poll on our 2000 hour podcast the other day. We covered a lot of topics. I might be doing an all in politics podcast just with global, because the purpose of that was to actually talk more about pop culture stuff, which is fine. I don't mind doing that, but I know for some of you guys aren't interested in that at all. So I'll just do a specific podcast just for that. I've been debating whether to do the political stuff. I don't want to put in a charge type of year right now. Um, Hey, what's up, brother?
Can you hear
Dude,
me?
yeah, I got you. I got you. Yeah, but I gotta have to
What's
wrap it
going
up.
on, brother?
I just got a phone call from Aria, or the text message she's done. So I gotta go pick her up. But we can run for about 10 more minutes.
Oh, okay.
Unless you can
Yeah,
run
I
the
saw
film.
you speaking about. I saw you talking about Comic-Con,
Yeah, I don't know if you got to
the
watch it.
aftermath, right?
Yeah, dude, it was pretty
Yeah,
solid,
of
bro.
course. Yeah, Comic-Con was good. It was good. I don't know. I feel weird about that whole Robert Downey being, you know, Victor Von Doom.
Oh yeah,
I
dude,
mean, I know what.
that's the aftermath. That's why I put the aftermath.
I know why they're doing it. You know, he's a good actor and all, but I kind of feel like they're doing it more like because he's a familiar face, right?
Yeah,
And everybody really loves him as Iron Man, right? So they
yeah,
probably like figure, well, if he plays another character, they're gonna love him as this now being a villain because Iron Man's supposedly dead in the universe, right? Things like that. I also saw the Wolverine, Deadpool versus Wolverine, excellent movie, the way it should have been from the very beginning.
Oh yeah, that was awesome. I mean,
It was good.
I hear what you're saying. I think that's what I'm getting. So it's the euphoria of Hall H and Comic Con, right?
Right,
Being in
right,
that echo chamber. But now,
right,
I mean, even then, even after the people that weren't there that were giving their thoughts, you can see the opinions kind of slanting now to the other direction.
right.
Yeah, like
Like
what
I'm
does
not
this?
saying, I'm not saying he'll be bad. It just feels weird, right? Because he's mainly known as the good guy, right? As the Iron. Uh, and it's not like it can be done. Seven played Torch, and he also played Captain America. And then you have Steve Reynolds. He's played the Green Lantern. He also played Deadpool, you know what I mean? So it's not like
Yeah,
these guys can't play different characters, but I just feel like there's a lot of talent out there, right? That could pull it off as well instead of just weighing in on nostalgia. You get what I'm saying?
well, I think they have a numerous amount
You
of
know what I'm
reasons.
saying?
Yeah, but there's a numerous amount of reasons why they're doing this.
Right, right.
Disney Marvel's in
Absolutely.
big trouble. I think some people could find some
Because to be
solace in
honest,
it. I mean, him being
mm-hmm.
casted in it, find solace in it. I like the fact that they brought back the Russo brothers. That's a good sign.
Yes.
The other movies that
Well, I
they
mean,
announced.
they have no choice. They have no choice. They got to do it. This thing is so screwed up that if they don't do something, Disney's gonna be bankrupt. They're gonna be out of. You know what I mean? They got to do it. They got to do it. I mean, I think Deadpool gives you the perfect example of what fans want, right? They want violence. They want adult theme. They want the respected universe. They want, even if it has comedy, but it's comedy for adults. It's respected. It's respecting the material. It's nostalgia, giving the respect to the fan base, and giving the respect to the characters properly, right? Deadpool is doing well for a lot of reasons. Even though for me, I feel like it's more of like a passing of the torch from 20th Century Fox to Marvel, right? In a sense, more so than trying to uh, fix whatever was wrong with the multiverse. Even though that seems to be part of what the direction they're going, right? But it was felt more to me like the passing of the torch from 23, the X-Men and other Marvel properties to Disney. You see what I'm saying?
Well, it's kind of a mea
Because
culpa on the
I
Disney
never
side too, right? Because they
feel
kind of
that
had to.
sense of
They had, oh, go
hype
ahead.
and
What?
vibe when it comes to Captain America, the one that's coming out with Brave New World, I think it's called.
Oh, Hebot, I
Hello,
can't hear you. Yeah, you're fading.
can you hear me, Mister?
No, um, your volume is lower. Or
Hello.
hello? Yeah, can you hear me?
You can hear me?
Oh, that's better. There you go.
Okay. I don't know why is it doing that. Son of a bitch. Um, yeah, go ahead. What were you saying, brother? Because I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Oh, no worries. I think it's also a mea culpa by Disney. Because if you watch that movie, man, the things that Deadpool says,
Mm,
especially when it comes to the multiverse, Hugh Jackman's or Wolverine, Hugh Jackman coming to the universe at a low point. I mean, it was
mm-hmm.
just throughout the movie.
Every yeah, just keep on. He just basically dragged them on the floor with all the real things that were going on. You know what I mean?
It was so much so that I was shocked that Kevin Feige was on the stage. Uh,
Well, I think Kevin Feige. Let's be real, because me and he's a comic book guy. I think
yeah.
Kevin Feige has felt this way for a long time, but because he's not the big one in charge, right, with the money as far as the purse, he had to just go with the flow, right, so to
Oh,
speak.
he's the so the problem with Kevin Feige, man, is because what he did was he put his flag down, and he got the other dude fired. Right? He
Mm,
went around the other guy, complained
mm,
about him, and then he became the head honcho.
mm-hmm.
And in doing that, right, and then like Ryan Reynolds talked about it honestly. He's like, you have to fight these guys tooth and nail, not just Iger, but Feige as well, to get
Right,
the to keep the Deadpool movie the way that it is.
that it needed
He
to
had
be.
to, yeah, he had to fight for the character. He had to fight for every little thing. Um, but at
Right.
the end of the day, man, Disney is hemorrhaging so much money. And they
Yes.
need a win. They need a win, man. Their game plan didn't work. Kevin Feige lost his mind, dude. I think you got to. I think. Well, of course, we can talk about TDS.
So you feel like he lost his way? You really do feel that way?
I think what it is, man, is he wants to matter because he's a producer. He can occupy. He
Right.
occupies both worlds.
Right.
He's the
Right.
comic book side and he's also the producer side. But for the
Yes. Yes.
longest time, man, Marvel was getting no respect.
Right.
Even when they're making all this money, dude, they're the comic book guys, they're the movie guys. So
Yes. Yes.
he wanted a place at the table.
Right. Right.
And that's why I feel he did the things that he did, man. He went woke.
He
He
kind of
went,
he kind of he kind of bend over for the for status quo.
yeah, dude. He wants to be because they dominate the industry. Even now, as horrible as they are, I think the
Yes.
figure that came out was they're like $35 billion studio,
Right.
right?
Right.
Um,
Well,
so
look
okay,
how quickly
yeah,
they get positive results. One fucking movie. That movie
yeah,
completely has shown that if they just keep on doing what their fan base and people have appreciated all this time, that they'll have a hit every time. You see what I'm trying to say?
yeah. This is all the fans have been. What you saw in that movie is what the fan has been asking them to do.
Absolutely,
And
absolutely.
they've been defensive. A lot of times they've been toxic. Dude, they're the ones quickly to call you the Nazi. All
yeah,
they all those words that they love to use,
yeah.
which blows my
Absolutely.
mind because I'm like, dude, this is your paying customers. You know what I'm saying?
Well, look, check this out. If listen, if Warner Brothers and David Zaslav did the same thing with Zack Snyder, they will see the exact same result. Same
Yeah,
result.
yeah,
Same result. Because that's what the fan base wants. To the more of the Batman. Even though I thought I never this day Twilight Robert Pattinson would have been a badass Batman. And the Batman is fucking phenomenal. That movie is fucking fantastic. He played a great Batman. Like, he did a really good job, you know?
yeah. I still
Even
need to
though Ben
watch.
Affleck's still my favorite, he did you got to see it, brother. You owe it to yourself. I know you're
I
more
will.
of a Marvel guy,
I
but
bought
you're
it.
gonna
I should watch it.
as well, just as a comic book guy, you're gonna fucking love it. You're gonna fucking love it. It's so well made, so well done. I personally feel so well made
that it even gives the Nolan movies a run for their own money because
Right, right.
it's just that good. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
people might be blasphemy, you're crazy. I'm like, no, dude, this man is a great writer and a fantastic director. Like he knows how to do it, and but do it right in a realistic way. You know what I mean? If that makes
Mm-hmm.
sense. But
No, no.
let me get your thoughts on something. The first thing I thought was, why not, with the hype behind everything that was going on with Oppenheimer, why not pick the lead role as Dr. Van Doom and pick him as Dr. Doom? He would have been fantastic, in my opinion. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Especially with the hype of Oppenheimer behind all this stuff going on, and they could have still brought Robert back as Iron Man or clone or something, whatever the case may be. That's what I thought they were going. I was like, oh, it's going to be my man from Oppenheimer. Watch, because all the hype is behind him. That man is an amazing actor, right? An amazing actor. Don't really get his credit. The main character from Oppenheimer. What is his name? Killian Murphy. Killian Murphy. Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I thought they were gonna do. But I know why they did Robert, like I said, but when he said, "Oh, the greatest actor in the world," like, whoa, 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 so your role, he's one of, but there's many. You know what I'm saying? And that's such a complex character. And somebody like Killian Murphy knows how to play complex characters. That's why I thought he would have did a fantastic job as Dr. Van Doom, Big Van Doom, right? But it is what it is. I mean, I'm not mad about Robert. I think he's gonna kill it too. I mean, I know he always gives 110% shit. He's like fucking Nicolas Cage. Everything he does, he puts 110%. Even if it's a cheap independent movie, he puts 110%. You know what I mean?
I mean, the only thing is, and I tell this to people all the time, dude. It's not that
Right,
he's Iron Man. It's not that Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man. The problem is he's Tony Stark. Is the problem?
right. That's the other thing. He's also Tony Stark. He's both. It's kind of
And
like Ben Affleck.
people,
When Ben Affleck did the Batman, I was like, dog, he played both roles amazing. The way that Michael Keaton did back then in the 80s. He killed it as Bruce Wayne, and he also killed it as Batman. And that's what made his character so well liked and so compelling. And that's what happens with Tony Stark. He's not just Iron Man, like you said. He's also Tony Stark.
yeah, that's
You
that's
know?
that's what sold people on
Mm-hmm.
him, and this is why they had no qualms about him not having the helmet on, because
Right.
people paid to go watch Robert Downey Jr. play
Yes.
Tony Stark, and he
Yes.
made such an impression as Tony Stark. I mean,
They love.
you can get anybody to fill the armor. That is not
Yep.
a problem. But you can't get person to play the man when somebody identifies. It's the same problem they're gonna have recasting Steve Rogers. This is why they went the
Absolutely.
multiverse. But this is why they went
Absolutely.
the multiverse route. And
That's
and
why
and
I said that movie, the Captain America Brave New World, doesn't look as compelling, right?
well,
Um,
I'm hoping that the Russo brothers put their hand on it.
or
I hope
touch it,
they
right?
put
Or
their
something like
hand.
that.
I hope
Yeah,
they
yeah,
put
yeah.
their hand on all the movies that they showed, even Thunderbolts, just to give it that consistency. Because the
Yes.
transitioning of Winter Soldier being a political drama to Civil War being more of an action superhero to like the big magnum opus of the two Avengers movies. That transition is not something that's easy to do. In
No,
fact,
no,
it can get costly,
no.
and they were able to pull it off. So
You
whatever they're
gotta know
paying,
what you're doing in order to do that. Absolutely,
well, they're
100%.
paying these dudes $85 million, right? Which I'm pretty sure will help their own studio.
Yes.
Marvel's actually doing something different by working with them as under their own studio. So
Oh, is it? That's how they're doing it. Is under their own studio.
yeah, so that's probably one of the things that they had to do to bring them back in. And I
Nice.
think, and I'm all for it, man, because Feige's been screwing this thing for two phases.
Right. Hmm.
People, when you start losing the Marvel Cinematic fans, and that's what's happening, which I
Hmm.
find ironic, man, because these are the same people I was arguing at the kickoff at the end of Phase 3 to kicking off Phase 4. Marvel's crap didn't stink, Disney's crap didn't stink, and you'd argue with these zombies, right? And now that they have canon, and now that they have a 10-year history behind them, and then they realize, oh, they're just jacking all this stuff up. Now everybody's kind of on the same page. That's why they have to do what they did. That's the whole reason why they're bringing him back.
Right. Hmm.
It's a hard reset. It's the right thing to do if you want to turn it around quickly, but it all's going to boil down to how well They look. They're just these guys are on like the multiverse is their crack, man. I don't know what's wrong with Marvel, Disney Marvel, but the multiverse is definitely their crack. Because these guys. The problem is these guys that they've got, they can't write, right? So it's always an easy out, you know.
Well, it's like freaking it's bad enough because they're not losing only one demographic. They're also lost the Star Wars demographic. Like a lot of people don't understand that right now the Star Wars fans have no faith, nothing. That's why everything comes out before it even comes out. Like, oh, it's gonna be trash. Oh, it's gonna be garbage. And they don't even give it not even one whiff of an opportunity because
Right.
they destroyed that fan base so bad and have lost their trust so badly that they just don't care. They don't care no more. It's like, look, they decided we only care about the original trilogy. That's it, and the original two. Even though they used to hate the episode 1, 2, and 3, and then it kind of grew on them. But the difference is that episode 1, 2, and 3 was still being respectful to the source. It was just felt different, right? Because it
Yeah,
felt more modern as opposed to the original trilogies. They felt like older and rugged and kind of raunchy and dirty, right? In
yeah,
comparison. So they had two different feels. So for them to adapt to the idea, because George always said that the original trilogies was everything was sophisticated, everything was grandiose, everything was elegant, and with the wars after the invasion of the empire, everything got destroyed and became dirty, old, rugged. You know what I mean? A lot of
yeah,
people were hiding and as castaways, especially the good guys, the empire, right, or the rebels, right? So that that's the difference between what's going on now. What's going on now is they just flat out disrespect characters. They act like the characters that were there before didn't mean shit. And then they'll tell you in your face if you don't like it. Oh well, too bad. You know what I'm trying to say?
yeah,
So
yeah,
so not only are they losing the Star Wars demographic, right? They're losing the Marvel demographic. So at least it's good that they had someone there, even though he been fucking up in Feige, that was smart enough to realize, look, something has to be done. It has to be done now. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Um, because if not, like you said, it would have been feudal, really, really bad. Because like you said, these phases have been really underwhelming, really bad. I can get gas, right? Or you still get? I can still get gas. Yeah, yeah. No, I'm saying it because I didn't know if you had or not. But that's why. I'm sorry. Hold on forever. Give me a second.
yeah. So I don't know. We'll see what happens, guys. I'm a little bit optimistic. I got a little bit of hope. Just so some of the moves that they've been making, does that guarantee this is all turned around? I mean, because the big question now is how they're going to do this, right? Because they have so many, well, not so many, but there's several big factors that they got to take into consideration when they do this. Again, this is why I am a little bit hopeful because the Russo brothers are there. Now maybe it's these guys coming back and cashing the check. I don't think so.
No, 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 not them, not them.
I mean, they have a legacy. They
Yeah,
have
yeah.
a
Whatever
legacy,
they do, they take serious too.
well, they
They're
talked
not
about it
gonna-
at the panel too. Like
they're not
they talked about their movies and the influence that their movies had. So I
gonna-
don't think they'll piss it down the drain. Still, you gotta. I mean, I don't know how they're gonna handle the multiverse because it wasn't as intrusive as it is now. I don't know
Yes.
how they're gonna wrap it up. They shouldn't have. I've told you guys this from the jump. They should not have done the multiverse. There's only
Yeah.
one company I know of that's been able to do multiverses, and that's DC, for very specific reasons. And I
But
mean, I'll be honest with you, dude. It's in the DNA of DC to do multiverses.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Marvel has never been that way.
It's a little
Um,
different. Yeah.
well,
Yeah, like
because
'cause Marvel specializes on a specific thing with characters of comic books, and DC specializes on their specific thing, which happens to be the multiverse.
well,
Absolutely.
the thing that always worked for Marvel was, I mean, it was a great world building tool for them at times that you could. That's one of the reasons why the multiverse is good because you can world build off of it.
Yes.
You can also reset stuff, and but Marvel never really had to do that, especially when I collected comic books because the canon in Marvel was always in tune and in line. They never went too far left or right. This is why you have the What If comics. This is why might have an Elseworld miniseries and stuff like that, or a graphic novel, so that it wouldn't mess up the timeline. And of course, that all changed in the late '90s, going to the 2000s, right? Because times change. so that all got blown to hell. But that's one of the reasons why, from in my opinion, Marvel, the Marvel way of doing comics doesn't work well with multiverses. Right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, the Russo brothers have a pedigree, right? Because even the things they did after Marvel, like The Gray Man for Netflix, those are all excellent movies. They do excellent work. Their body of work speaks for itself.
Yeah,
So they definitely didn't come back just to take the paycheck. They came back for the money because that's going to help them, but they also came back because they love to do what they do, and I think they love working on Marvel movies because, in my opinion, the ones they've done have been the best in any Marvel movie before done, right? With
yeah.
some exceptions, obviously, like the Blade movie, which I thought were excellent, right? Um, how much? Or even like I even like the Ann Lee Hulk because it felt very comic book, even though people didn't like it, right? And I like the one with Ed Norton as well. Don't get me wrong. And obviously Punisher, Warzone. I thought it was fantabulous. I thought it was excellent. That was a woman director, right?
Yeah,
With Ray Stevenson, and
right.
that was owned. That like remember that IP still owned, I think, by Paramount, right? Or they got the rights back. Do you know?
For Punisher, no, they should have it. No,
Oh,
wait,
they
maybe
did.
not. Maybe
Remember
not.
they had Paramount had Punisher. They also had Hulk, right?
Yeah, because
Um,
I know they were under. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'd have to look.
I don't know if they got it back, but I'm just trying to point out, like Judge Dredd, like the last one, Dredd, the one with Eric Bana, or not Eric Bana, Carl Urban, fantastic comic book movie. You know what I mean? And you got other things that people don't even know about, like Road to Perdition with Tom Hanks, or The History of Violence with Viggo Mortensen. Those are all fantastic comic books. They're very realistic. They're very they're very grounded on reality, but they're fantastic and loyal to the material. But anything outside of that, the Russos ones are the ones that stand out the most with that comic book appeal, but yet being that they feel quality. They don't just feel like just a regular comic book movie. You know what I mean? They feel quality. They feel well written, well done. And that's why I said, like you said, they definitely didn't come back just for a paycheck. This is a labor of love for them as well. Um, so it is very much so a reason to be optimistic and hopeful. Absolutely.
I mean,
I
yeah, I mean, I have a slither of hope, right?
yes.
Because I don't because look, I just say this, man. I don't know if they'll be able to do it. Not because of anything they lack, but it's just that the universe is so just it's so all over the place. You know what I mean? They're basically what they're doing right now. The direction that they were going in, they just cut it off at the knees, and they're expecting these guys to come in and then regenerate all of these, regenerate this universe. That's that's on life support right now, if we're being honest. And I don't know if they can pull it off. I hope they can. I know that they're good in what they do. The fact that they can tell a story and they know how to write characters. After all of this is said and done, Marvel should actually hire them to teach a whole new generation of people how to actually make stories. Um,
Yes. Absolutely.
because people nowadays can't write for trash. But
Wow.
hey, Heba, dude, I'm sorry, I gotta go. My
Yeah,
daughter's
yeah, no problem, no problem. I mean, if you come back, you want to go back on for a few more minutes, just let me know.
yeah. I'll send you the link directly.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
just call me and then we go in. If you want to talk for a
Yeah,
little long.
it'll be the
All right, brother.
aftermath part two. All right, brother. All right,
All
I'll be
right,
right.
tell Nisi that I said hello, please.
Yes,
Give him
definitely.
my love and regards.
All right, my brother. Okay.
Peace. Bye.
Bye.